Welcome, friend. Settle into the quiet of your room, soften your gaze, and let your breath find a slow, easy rhythm. Tonight, we drift through deep time and steady stone into the patient work of Earth's mantle, where tectonics move too slowly to notice, yet never stop. If you find comfort here, feel free to gently like and subscribe. And if you want the calm to continue, there is a playlist in the description waiting to carry you further while you drift. How sleepy are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Imagine yourself on a twilight coastline, the air mild and salt sweet, waves folding and unfolding with a tender hush. You stand on a thin skin of crust, a rocky raft cooled at the surface of a warm planet. Beneath your feet, far below the sand and stone, lies the mantle, not a roaring furnace, but a solid world with a secret softness, a place where rock is strong and yet over long ages can flow. It moves like glass does when given centuries, like very thick honey in a winter kitchen, sliding so slowly that the flow seems almost like stillness. You breathe in and you feel that same steadiness in your own chest. The gentle rhythm continues. Picture the planet as layers of quiet, a bright crust on top, thin as an eggshell on a giant's breakfast. The mantle below, vast and dark, rich with minerals that gleam under pressure and temperature. Deeper still, a core of metal, quietly shedding heat like a faraway ember. The warmth that rises from the deep is faint at the surface, but inside, it is enough to cause a slow circulation. The mantle does not boil, it sighs. Warm portions rise by degrees, cool portions sink by degrees, and together they create a planetary lullaby of drifting rock. You find yourself floating along one of these upwelling currents, riding a steady elevator that takes 1,000,000 years to cross a floor. At the top of this slow cycle, the surface plates glide. They are cool and strong, like sheets of sea ice that span a quiet bay, and they rest upon a zone of rock that is softer and more yielding, a layer that welcomes the plates as they slide. Where plates part in the oceans, new crust forms from melted mantle, dark and gentle, spreading outward at a pace your fingernails could rival. Where plates meet, one might lean beneath another, its edge sinking, not with drama, but with the slow persuasion of gravity over an age. The planet breathes laterally, making room where it needs to, folding gently where it must. Sleepy mid-ocean ridges rise like a seam, while far trenches are the soft pleats at the edge of a fabric that is never fully at rest. You stroll along an open plain in your mind. The air is motionless, and the horizon feels both near and far. Beneath the plain, a plate slides as if on a thick cushion. The mantle's softness is not weakness, it is patience. Every grain of mineral is locked to its neighbors, yet together they can yield imperceptibly, the way a stack of pillows settles by a millimeter over a long afternoon. In this soft give, a continent can drift unnoticed, carrying fields and forests, cities and rivers, toward futures that only rocks can count. The gentle rhythm continues. Inside the mantle, minerals shift their shapes without breaking apart. Olivine, bright green in hand specimens, becomes denser forms under pressure, changing its inner pattern with quiet precision as you go deeper, to depths where light is only a memory. At a certain depth, there is a change that seismologists can sense, a boundary where downward waves slow or bend. Farther down, another change. The rock remembers the weight of the world and rearranges itself to fit like a blanket settling around a sleeping body. In those rearrangements, mantle rock can hold small whispers of water hidden in the crystal lattice, a soft secret that may travel with sinking slabs and return to the surface in a slow exhale, drop by drop, mountain by mountain, over an era. You imagine a plume, a warm column gently rising from deeper layers. It is not a geyser, but a gradual lift, a scarf of warm rock drifting upward through cooler surroundings. Over many millions of years, that warmth can feed steady volcanism at the surface, a bead-like chain of islands forming as a plate glides over the same quiet source. Each island is a punctuation mark in slow handwriting, a measure of distance and time in basalt and beach sand. The mantle writes and the surface reads, all the while the plates push and pull. A heavy oceanic slab, cooled by time at the seafloor, becomes dense and begins its descent at the edge of a continent. Down it goes like a ribbon that slowly finds the floor, bending and folding as it sinks, its shape traced by subtle tremors that satellites and sensors, with their quiet patience, can detect. At the surface, you can stand by a calm harbor, feeling only a light breeze, while far beneath, the planet arranges itself with a grace that asks for nothing from you but a moment of easy curiosity. The gentle rhythm continues. If you were to hold a GPS receiver steady on a peaceful hill for years, it would whisper a message of drift. A few millimeters in a season, a centimeter in a year, a small journey multiplied by the age of mountains. Northern lands, once pressed low by great ice, still rise by millimeters as the crust and mantle together relax, like a cushion regaining its shape after a long weight is lifted. Coastlines shift by the width of a finger over an entire year. A city moves by a hand's breadth in a lifetime. These are measurements you do not need to feel in order to appreciate. Tomorrow's map, a hair different from today's, tells the same quiet story. What topic should we cover next? You find yourself on a night train that hums so gently you barely notice it, and the window reveals a dark countryside sliding past. This is how continents travel across the mantle's soft underlayer. Africa leans into Europe, a tiny breath at a time. The Atlantic opens like a book by the width of a thumbnail each year, and in hidden rooms beneath the oceans, new crust is delivered on a conveyor that never stops, only pauses when the cycle moves elsewhere. The planet does not hurry. The planet simply continues. Deep inside, pressure gathers like calm hands folded together. Rocks yield by imperceptible creep, atoms swapping positions in silence. The viscosity is beyond any household experience, thicker than anything you would pour, and yet it is not still. Over long spans, even very thick substances find a path from higher to lower places. In that gentle movement, heat is carried upward, and the surface cools just enough to keep this great machine in balance. Warm rises, cool sinks, plates glide, and the mantle receives, all with the decorum of a library where everyone whispers and every book returns to its shelf at closing time. The record of this quiet choreography is kept in stones. Basalt pillows on the sea floor tell of eruptions underwater, frozen into round forms by the chill. Ancient belts of rock, stitched together, echo where continents once kissed and parted. Phyolites, Stranded pieces of ocean crust lifted onto land are memory fragments left on a dresser, reminding us of vanished oceans. Fossils float across latitudes carried by the crust so that creatures now found far apart were once neighbors. Each clue is another reassurance that slow is not the same as still. If you let your thoughts drop into the mantle once more, you can imagine the transition as a soft, buoyant barrier, and below it, the lower mantle as a denser, stolid sea. Somewhere down near the boundary with the core, the D double prime region, subtle variations gather like shadows at the bottom of a pool. Some areas may be warmer, some more chemically distinct, and above them, the mantle's grand currents begin their long journey upward.